Why do we faint?
I don't know.
Alright, I'll explain.
Oh.
Our brain keeps us conscious and focused. However, to do so, our brain continuously requires oxygen, which is supplied to it through blood. But sometimes when blood flow is reduced to the brain, it does not get sufficient oxygen. As a result, we temporarily lose consciousness and faint. The medical term for fainting is syncope.
Cool name.
Now, the most common causes due to which we faint are shock and stress. In these cases, our heart rate rises and the blood pressure increases. However, eventually, our vagus nerve, which emerges from the brain, stabilizes us. It signals the heart to slow down and decreases the blood pressure. But sometimes it malfunctions and drops the heart rate and blood pressure too much, reducing blood circulation to the brain. Due to lack of oxygen in the brain, we faint. This is called vasovagal syncope. Why can't you use phones on planes?
'Cause phones can fall out of the window.
Nah. It might be because portable electronic devices like cell phones and tablets emit radio signals. These signals can interfere with the flight controls. They may also disrupt the communication with the air traffic controllers on the ground. Besides this, cellular towers are miles below the airplane. Hence, cell phones try to emit a stronger radio signal to detect the network. This can increase the possibility of causing interference with the airplane electronic equipment.
Really? I didn't know that.
Hence, portable electronic devices are told to be either turned off or to be kept on airplane mode or flight mode. This prevents the emission of radio signals, thus helping to keep all the onboard equipment working properly. Why is snow white?
'Cause it applies fairness cream.
No. Sunlight or white light is a combination of all visible colors of light. When light falls on an object, it may absorb some colors of light and reflect the remaining colors. The colors which are reflected by an object make up its color. For example, when light falls on an apple, it absorbs all other colors except red. Apple reflects red color, making it appear red. When light falls on coal, it absorbs all colors and does not reflect any color. Hence, coal appears black to us.
Really? I didn't know that.
Now, snow does not absorb any colors of light and reflects all of them equally. As the combination of all colors of light is white light, snow appears white to us. Why does our stomach growl?
'Cause there are bears in our stomach.
Nah. Growling sound is produced mostly due to movement of gas in the digestive tract, especially in the intestines. Now, gas can either enter or be produced in the intestines.
But how?
When we eat food very quickly, sometimes we swallow gas such as air along with food. Besides this, bacteria in our intestines also produce gases. Now, during digestion, the muscles of our intestines contract in order to push food ahead. However, gases also get pushed along with food. Now, as our intestines are hollow tubes, such movement of gases produces growling sounds. Besides this, hunger increases growling. This is because when we are hungry, our digestive system starts preparing for the next meal. Hence, it clears the remains of last meal, causing more muscle contraction, thus producing more growling sounds. What if you fall into quicksand?
No problem. I am quicker than quicksand.
Oh, Aumsum. Quicksand is a waterlogged mixture of sand, clay, and salt. It is a non-Newtonian fluid. That is, it changes its thickness or viscosity depending on the stress applied on it. So, an undisturbed quicksand appears and acts like a solid. But when we step on it, our weight increases the stress. Hence, it starts behaving like a liquid, thus causing us to sink. However, we will not fully sink into quicksand. Why? Firstly, because quicksand is usually not very deep. Secondly, it is believed that quicksand is a bit denser than humans. So what? In an experiment, experts prepared aluminum beads which had similar density as humans. When they placed those beads in quicksand and moved them to mimic the action of a panicked human, the beads sank, but only halfway, thus indicating that we will not completely sink in quicksand. What if we lived near a volcano?
Cool. Aumsum is not afraid of a volcano.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we lived near a volcano, temperatures near volcanoes are super high. People may start sweating buckets. Secondly, if we lived near a volcano, wooden houses may burn down very easily. Thirdly, volcanic eruptions can cause earthquakes. If we lived near a volcano, even if we survive a volcano, an earthquake will surely bring our house down. Fourthly, if we live near a volcano, instead of waterfalls, people may start installing magma falls in their homes. Fifthly, if we live near a volcano, whenever a volcano erupts, families might pack their bags for a holiday. Kids might love this. Lastly, if we live near a volcano, temperatures are very high near a volcano. Ice creams will immediately melt away. What if mountains started walking?
Ha ha. Mountains can never walk.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if mountains started walking, when the biggest mountains on Earth start walking, entire cities might start shaking. Secondly, if mountains started walking, people who live on mountains may wake up in a completely different place. Thirdly, if mountains started walking, ice-clad mountains may bring snowfall wherever they go. Fourthly, if mountains started walking, mountains may move whenever they wish. Tourists may be in for a rude shock. Fifthly, if mountains started walking, rivers may change their course. Cities might suddenly get flooded. Lastly, if mountains started walking, mountain climbers will find it extremely difficult to hold on.
What if we were made of diamonds?
Cool. I love diamonds.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we were made of diamonds, aliens may kidnap us. Secondly, if we were made of diamonds, we may actually become brighter than the moon. Lastly, if we were made of diamonds, there will be no need of mirrors anymore. What if we had $1 trillion?
No big deal. Aumsum already has $1 trillion.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we had $1 trillion, we may keep on dropping dollars wherever we go. Secondly, if we had $1 trillion, we may start living in a house made of dollars. Lastly, if we had $1 trillion, we may start wearing clothes made of dollars. What if roads turned into quicksand?
Cool. Aumsum loves quicksand.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if roads turned into quicksand, marathon runners will be in for a big shock. Secondly, if roads turned into quicksand, people may now start jumping from one tree to another, like monkeys. Lastly, if roads turned into quicksand, everyone may now start traveling via airplanes. What if it rains French fries?
Awesome. The best day ever.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if it rains French fries, parents will not be happy about this situation. Secondly, if it rains French fries, bellies of some people may grow beyond limits. Thirdly, if it rains French fries, some people may start standing on roofs to catch the French fries. Lastly, if it rains French fries, some people may fill up their entire house with French fries. What if we convert it into a balloon?
Cool. Aumsum loves popping balloons.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we convert it into a balloon, we may end up in outer space. Secondly, if we convert it into a balloon, we may keep on exploding. Thirdly, if we convert it into a balloon, we may have to be tied to our car. Lastly, if we convert it into a balloon, kids may start playing with us. What if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like?
Don't worry. Aumsum is smarter than a computer.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may never stop working. Secondly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may never sleep. Thirdly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may always need an electrical connection. Lastly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may short-circuit during rainy season. What if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like?
Don't worry. Aumsum is smarter than a computer.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may never stop working. Secondly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may never sleep. Thirdly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may always need an electrical connection. Lastly, if we had two heads, computer-like and human-like, our computer-like head may short-circuit during rainy season. What if we convert it into a fruit?
Ha ha ha! That would be so funny.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we convert it into a watermelon, we may start seeing people rolling down the road. Secondly, if we convert it into a cherry, birds may start snatching us away. Thirdly, if we convert it into a banana, monkeys may start kidnapping us. Lastly, if we convert it into a jackfruit, bodybuilders may get very, very happy.
What if our homes were made of lava?
Oh no! Now, how do I enter my new home?
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, there will be no need to keep our doors locked anymore.
Are you serious?
Yup. If our homes were made of lava, thieves might get so scared that they may start running far, far away from our homes. Secondly, we might have to thank the aliens.
What?
Yup. If our homes were made of lava, nobody would buy them now. Only aliens might offer to buy them. Lastly, people who just had their home interiors done would be very unhappy.
But why is that?
Simple. If our homes were made of lava, our new interiors would start melting right away. What if Earth was made of lava?
No big deal. Aumsum is also made of lava.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, the moon would be extremely happy. Why would I be so happy? Simple. If Earth was made of lava, all humans as well as animals may permanently shift to the moon. Secondly, Earth's neighbors, as in Mars and Venus, might get extremely scared. But why would we get scared? Simple. If Earth was made of lava, Earth might start throwing lava balls at them just for fun. Mars and Venus would be terrified. Lastly, Sun may throw Earth out of the solar system.
No ways.
But why? Let me explain. If Earth was made of lava, Earth might start attracting visitors from far, far away. Sun might get jealous and throw Earth out of the solar system. What if humans painted Earth golden?
Cool. I look super smart and gold.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, Sun may start packing its bags.
No ways.
Yup. If humans painted Earth golden, Earth would become the center of attraction. Sun may start packing its bags. Secondly, bosses may have to do all the work now.
What?
Yup, if humans painted Earth golden, employees may quit and start collecting gold. Bosses may have to do all the work. Lastly, some people might get very unhappy.
But why is that?
Let me explain. If humans painted Earth golden, people who just sold off their home would be extremely unhappy.
Why do we need sleep?
'Cause we like to be lazy.
Nah. There are basically two factors that make us sleep. One of them is light. When we see light in the morning, our brain releases more amount of cortisol, which keeps us awake. While when it is dark, our brain releases more amount of melatonin, which makes us sleep. Besides this, our brain performs various activities throughout the day, which results in the production of adenosine. Accumulation of this adenosine is the second factor that makes us sleep. Now, when we sleep, our brain gets time to reabsorb the accumulated adenosine, so that our brain is ready for the next day. Besides this, sleeping helps our brain to reorganize information and clear out unwanted memories. Moreover, while sleeping, we use very less energy. Thus, sleeping also helps us to conserve energy. Topic: diffusion. Why can we smell hot food from a distance? Hey, looks like you have lost your way.
No, I know the way.
Fine, don't listen. See, I told you. Now listen to me. There is a restaurant next to your house where hot sizzling food is available. Right?
Oh yeah! Yummy!
Follow its smell and you will reach home.
Yippee! I have reached home.
Do you know how the smell of that food reached you? When food gets cooked, it releases some aromatic gases into the air. The molecules of these gases spread and mix with air molecules. When this air reaches our nose, we get the smell of food. This process of spreading and mixing of a substance with another substance is called diffusion.
But then, why couldn't I smell the food inside my house from a distance?
This is because that food had become cold. On heating food, the molecules of its aromatic gases gain kinetic energy and start vibrating faster. They spread and mix easily into air, leading to an increased rate of diffusion. As the food gets cold, the temperature of the aromatic gases decreases. The kinetic energy of molecules decreases and they do not vibrate as much anymore. Thus, the rate of diffusion decreases and we cannot smell the food from a distance. What if we convert into a dustbin?
That would be so funny.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, if we convert into a dustbin, people may start throwing garbage inside of us. Secondly, rats love dustbins. If we convert into a dustbin, rats will never leave us alone. Thirdly, dustbins usually smell a lot. If we convert into a dustbin, even we may start smelling a lot. Lastly, some people love to remain messy. If we convert into a dustbin, they may now change their habits. What if we convert into a house?
Who cares? I just bought this new house.
Oh, Aumsum. Firstly, some houses are super expensive. If we convert into a super expensive house, thieves may start chasing us. Secondly, a king's house is known as a palace. If we convert into a palace, we may suddenly become very famous. Thirdly, some old houses are believed to be haunted. If we convert into a haunted house, ghosts may now start roaming around us. Lastly, some houses are skyscrapers. If we convert into a skyscraper house, then we may start feeling very, very lonely out there. How can we smell things?
Dude, I don't have a nose, so how will I know?
At the back of our nose, there's a tissue called olfactory epithelium. It is covered with mucus. This tissue has specialized neurons called olfactory receptor neurons. There are about 40 million olfactory receptor neurons. These neurons are chemoreceptors. That is, neurons which detect chemicals.
Wow, they have a cool name.
Now, when any substance releases its smell or odor, the odor consists of chemicals. When we breathe in, these chemicals enter our nose. When they reach the olfactory epithelium, the chemicals get stuck in the mucus, causing them to activate the neurons. As a result, these activated neurons send signals through the olfactory tract to the brain, informing it about the smell. Topic: rain. Why does rain smell?
Maybe it applies a special perfume.
Nah. Rain is just water, and water doesn't have any smell.
Yeah, dude. So what's that smell?
The distinctive smell which frequently accompanies the first rain after a dry weather is scientifically called petrichor. It basically comes from plants and bacteria called actinomycetes, which live in the soil. Now, during a long dry spell, the plants release oils into the soil to block other seeds from germinating, thus reducing competition for water. Whereas, the actinomycetes produce a chemical called geosmin. Now, when rain hits the ground, it brings up the oils and geosmin, which then mix with air. The combination of this geosmin along with the plant oils form the smell which we receive after the rain.